Spotter, Bill Ditto. Pit announcer, Bob Dematio. The tire and fuel guy, Ben Nicholas. The lineup guy tonight, Jason Anthony. Howard Holt, Craig Mishler, and Zach Downing of Mid-Vid Racing Videos. Track photographer, BP Photography. And track owners and promoters, John and Kelly Chapman. I'm your announcer, Chris Kale, and welcome to week number 10, season championship night, presented by Van Meter's Auto Repair at Thunder in the Valley. All veterans, active duty military, and frontline workers, please stand. Active duty, veterans, and frontline workers, please stand. Please give them folks a round of applause for keeping us safe. We are blessed to live in the greatest country on earth. Would you please honor our nation? And if you're able to stand, please do so. Gentlemen, please remove your hats for tonight's invocation and the playing of our national anthem. For tonight's invocation, here is Hall of Famer Craig Mishler.
Shall we pray? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for a beautiful day. We ask you to be with us tonight as we watch the races here at Midvale. We ask you to be with the drivers and the crews and us, your fans. Please forgive us where we fail you, and we thank you, O Lord. We lost a Hall of Famer here Wednesday of this last week, Lord, and you know all about Bud Midall. He used to race here for probably over 30 years, from the 50s until the early 80s. And now I know that he's up there with you, with also Hall of Famer Tony Diano and Delmer Clark, running the King of the Hill like they would do on a weekly basis here back in the 60s and early 70s. Please guide and direct us. We thank you for all your blessings. In Jesus' name, amen.
Right now, Tabitha Stuber holding a slight lead over Blake Miley in the points. Getting ready to go green. Green flag is in the air, 6-lap heat race. Stuber, your race leader. Scott way up the racetrack. Here comes Blake Miley. Tabitha Stuber doing what she needs to do. Out front, she'll lead lap number 1. Tabitha Stuber continuing to lead Blake Miley, Caden Scott, and Matt Miley. White flag for Tabitha Stuber. Final time into the infield section. Tabitha Stuber going to do exactly what she needs to do for the championship. She'll take the heat race victory. Blake Miley will finish second, Caden Scott third, and Matt Miley in fourth. I'll give you the points in just a minute after we get them totaled up after qualifying and the heat race. So your heat race winner from Bowerston, Ohio in the Bucky Mowing, Small Straws Acres, Romar Performance, Motorsports, Keys Cars, and Old School Farm. Sponsored number 5, your winner, Tabby Stuber. Riddle. On the outside, the 48, the Mountain State Missile, Jonathan Ritter. Row number 2, the 25 is Chris Grubbs. The 701 is Flying Ryan Tedesco. The 17, your point leader, Bob Snyder Jr. will start inside of row number 3. Emerson Hoffman in the 90, and your fastest qualifier, currently second in points. The 18 is Brandon Short. Off of turn number 4, green flag in the air for Ritter and Riddle. Ritter going to have the race lead off of turn number 2. Riddle will battle back on the bottom. Here comes George Riddle on the bottom. He'll lead lap number 1 by a nose. Tedesco will take over the 3rd spot. Here comes the 90 of Hoffman trying to get 4th from Chris Grubbs. George Riddle, your race leader. Hoffman going to take over the 4th spot from Chris Grubbs. Emerson Hoffman in turn 3. Round to Bob Snyder Jr., the top 5 get points. So getting ready to go green, Riddle and Ritter. Green flag. Jonathan Ritter, your race leader in the 48. George Riddle 2nd, Tedesco 3rd, Grubbs 4th, Snyder 5th. Coming to get the white flag, the Mountain State Missile, Jonathan Ritter, 1 to go. Off turn number 4, the Mountain State Missile will win heat race number 1. Riddle will finish 2nd, Tedesco 3rd, Grubbs in 4th, and Bob Snyder Jr. in 5th. So Bob Snyder Jr. gained back what he lost in qualifying, and that was 5 points. So Bob Snyder Jr. 21 ahead of Brandon Short, headed to the feature. And your winner in heat race number 1 from Weirton, West Virginia, in the Ken's Auto Service Center, Smith's Auto Sales, and Monar Family Racing, sponsored number 48. Put your hands together for the Mountain State Missile, Jonathan Ritter. Sorry, John Sanquest Sr. in the 66. The 07 is Josh Kemp. Row number 2, the 57 is AP Wren. The 69 is Lee McCreary. First heat race in 30 years for Kenny Vickers in the 169. Former competitor here at Midvale Speedway back in the 80s, Kenny Vickers in the 169 tonight. And the number 30, his first ever heat race, that's Jason Garrett. So getting ready to go green, Sanquest and Kemp off of turn number 4. Green flag. Josh Kemp up the racetrack just a little bit. Sanquest going to have the race lead into turn number 3. Comes AP Wren looking for that second spot on the bottom. John Sanquest Sr., your race leader. AP Wren tried the outside lane, not there. They lose a little bit of ground. AP Wren back to the outside of Sanquest. Sanquest and Wren side by side. White flag for Sanquest. Kemp, AP Wren, and Lee McCreary. Checkered flag for John Sanquest Sr. Josh Kemp finishes second. AP Wren third. Lee McCreary fourth. Then the 30 of Jason Garrett and Kenny Vickers rounding out the field. From Austintown, Ohio, in the Duffy's Auto Body sponsored number 66. Put your hands together for John Sanquest Sr. Youngster in the Magic Hobbies sponsored 66. Alongside the 02 is Rick Sibla. Row number 2, one of those guys, actually both of those guys in row number 2, battling for that championship. The 38 of Kevin McClintock, the 09 of Philip Cox. Philip Cox 4 points behind, McClintock 11. The 49 is Bob Page. Your point current runner-up Mike Stone in the 331 sits 3 points back. He'll start outside row number 3. Your point leader, the 55, the Rooster, Brandon Bailey. And the number 12 is Vanessa McCreary. So Brandon Bailey did what he had to do in qualifying, was the fastest qualifier. Now needs to gain a little more ground to widen out that margin in the heat race. Green flag, 8-lap heat race number 1 for the mods. Rick Sibla going to have the race lead into turn number 3. Philip Cox on the outside of the 66 of McGrath. Rick Sibla picked up the victory at Ona Speedway yesterday. Out front, the last time he was here at Midvale Speedway, picked up the feature win. McGrath runs in the second spot. Philip Cox third, Kevin McClintock fourth. Problems for Rooster. Brandon Bailey, something happened to that 55 machine as he stops at the pit chute. Something happening to Brandon Bailey on the front straightaway. Your point leader. Five laps complete, 3 to go. Repair modifieds. Green flag back in the air. Sibla and McGrath. Philip Cox looking to the inside of Lewis McGrath for the second spot. That's going to help him in points if he can get up to that second spot. Here comes the 49 of Page. White flag in the air for Rick Sibla. Rick Sibla off of turn number 4. Philip Cox will finish second. Then the 49 of Page, the 66 of McGrath, and the 331 of Mike Stone will get points in the heat race. Stone by a nose over Kevin McClintock. So your winner, heat race number 1, from Massillon, Ohio in the Custom Car Center, Bachto Excavating, Novacell Real Estate, Ricky Sibla, George Bowers, and Sibla Fabrication. Sponsored number 02. Put your hands together for Rick Sibla. Wes Ennis, the 87 is Zach Leisure. The 4 is Jerry DeVore. The 15 is Kyle Finlayson. The 338 is Brandon France. And the 27 is Randy Gray. 8-lap heat race number 2. Ariana on the flag stand, representing Van Meter's Auto Repair, going to throw the green flag for heat race number 2. Getting ready to go green, Gruel and DeVore. Green flag in the air. Gruel and Bobby DeVore in turn number 4. 8-lap heat race number 2 is green. Going to have the advantage on the bottom. Bobby DeVore going to battle back on the outside. Here comes Wes Ennis in the X09. Still side by side for the race lead. Derek Gruel, Bobby DeVore the second. Halfway home, 4 and 4 to go. Derek Gruel leads at the line. These two, a little bit of history, racing clean. Nice race up front between Gruhl and DeVore. Wes Ennis, Zach Leisure battle for that second spot. White flag for Derek Gruhl and Bobby DeVore. Gruhl still there, DeVore on the high side. Off turn number 4, Gruhl sideways, and they connect. So once again, Derek Gruhl slides across the line. He is your winner. Bobby DeVore the second, then Jerry DeVore, Zach Leisure, and Brandon France. So moving into heat race number 2 of the compacts, the neck tuning compacts. So Billy Hilliker in the 27, the 53 is Curtis Finlayson. The 67 is Dylan Napier, the 7 is Will Custer, the 47 is Don Rufner Jr., the 45 of Timmy Kaup, the 69 is Dan Bucky, the 44 is Mike Stuber, and out back the 19 is Clayton Oliver. Billy Hilliker, your race leader. Napier in that second spot. Then Rufner Jr., Finlayson. The battle with Custer and Bucky for the 5th spot. Billy Hilliker, your race leader. Here comes Don Rufner Jr. Rufner to the inside of Napier for the 2nd spot. Finlayson back to 4th. Still battling for that 5th spot is Custer and Bucky. Here comes Don Rufner Jr. on the outside of Billy Hilliker. Rufner, white flag for Hilliker and Rufner. Off turn 2, Rufner up the racetrack just a little bit. Hilliker on the bottom, glued to that white line. Off turn number 4. Rufner up the racetrack once again. Hilliker going to win. Rufner will finish second. Napier in third. Finlayson fourth. And Dan Bucky in fifth. From Bowerston, Ohio, in the Pork Chop Vinyl Graphics, Accurate Auto, Greg Paris Seamless Spouting, sponsored number 27. Put your hands together for Billy Hilliker. Gavin Roop, the 178 is your point leader, Stephen Feaster. He holds a 38-point lead over Jamie Leslie, 35-point lead over Jamie Leslie. On the outside of Feaster is the 16 of Mike McDonald. The 57 is Blaze Bacon. The 64 is Jamie Leslie, all out of control. Then the 007 of DR3, Don Rufner the third, your fastest qualifier. The 13 of Kenny Feaster. And the 19 of Eugene Kopp. Toby Cook, 3 wide, Kenny Feaster Jr. up the middle. 3 wide again, Blaze Bacon. Now Jamie Leslie going to try 3 wide. Toby Cook hanging on to the race lead. Stephen Feaster, Kenny Feaster Jr. and McDonald. Stephen Feaster to the outside of Toby Cook. White flag going to come out this time. Chief starter Terry Coletti has it in his hands. Toby Cook and Stephen Feaster battling for that lead. Jamie Leslie marred back outside the points right now. Feaster wins this one. It's going to go a long way to a championship for the 178. Off turn number 4. Toby Cook, Stephen Feaster. Feaster at the line. Stephen Feaster made a nice last gasp effort as Toby Cook, maybe something happened to that machine off of turn 4. So going to go a long way to picking up a championship here tonight. Kenny Feaster Jr. will finish 3rd, Mike McDonald 4th, Rufner the 3rd in 5th. So Leslie out of the points. Your winner of the NAC Tuning Compact Heat Race number 1 from New Philadelphia, Ohio, in the Brailers Cleaning and Restoration C&K Auto sponsored 178. Put your hands together for your point leader, Stephen Feaster. Sorry, the third of 4 heat races. The 39 is Dan Sharpless. The 22 is Katie Wood. The 79 is Phil Bunton Jr. The 38, Chad Littlehands Wise. The 6R is Ryan Alm. And the 7 is Clayton Paisley. Scott, your race leader in the 72. Dan Sharpless second. 3 wide for third. Phil Bunton Jr. up the middle. Ryan Alm on the bottom, and Cody Tolan starting to drop back. So Ryan Alm going to move up to the third spot. Bunton back to fourth, and just lost a bumper on the back straightaway. Caution on the speedway. So front bumper coming off Phil Bunton Jr. through 3 and 4. Green flag in the air. Will Scott, Dan Sharpless, Phil Bunton Jr. Phil Bunton Jr. up to the second spot. Sharpless back to third. Alm fourth, and Little Hands. White flag coming out for Will Scott. Dan Sharpless and Bunton, a little bit of contact, but Bunton going to come across the line in second. Sharpless will finish actually fourth. Ryan Alm will finish third. And Cody Tolan in fifth. So pulling to the line, your winner of heat race number 3 in the number 72. Put your hands together for Will Scott. So Jonathan Weber, Chris Caldwell getting ready to come to green. The 77 is George Paul. The 52 is Jeremy Salinger. The 7S is Savannah Alm. The 79 is Eric Brokaw. The 4 is Andrea Brokaw. And the 79 is Andrea Brooks. Weber almost got into the wall off of turn number 4. George Paul going to be your race leader. Savannah Alm, your race leader at the halfway mark. 4 laps in, 4 to go. George Paul runs second. Then the 96 of Chris Caldwell. The 52 of Jeremy Salinger. The 79 of Eric Brokaw. The 4 of Andrea Brokaw. Tough break for Jonathan Weber, the 85. He pulled to the infield. And Andrea Brooks pulled pit side in the 79A. Speeding ticket for the 7 of Savannah Alm. 2 laps under her qualifying time. Savannah Alm with the speeding ticket. George Paul, your race leader in the 77. White flag for George Paul. And checkered flag for George Paul. Chris Caldwell will finish second. Then Jeremy Salinger, Eric Brokaw, and Andrea Brokaw. So a couple of weeks ago, this guy was on fire on the back straightaway. And tonight, on season championship night, presented by Van Meter Auto Repair, he goes into victory lane in heat race number 4. From Hudson, Ohio, in the CA Racing sponsored 77, put your hands together for George Paul. Open modified competitor here at Midvale Speedway, also a former compact competitor. The 7 is Gabe Pringle. He'll start outside row number 1. Nick on the flag stand representing Van Meter Auto Repair. Row number 2, the 55 is Robbie Kordiak. The 118 of Camaro Hair, Colt Locker. The 75 of Bob Passwater Sr. And your 2020 points champion. He was a pure stock champion a few years ago. And in 2020, he is the street stock champion at Midvale Speedway. Dennis Wood in the 88, your fastest qualifier. Bingham and Pringle. Green flag in the air. So Sam Bingham a little jumpy on the start. Bring the field into turn number 4. Bingham and Pringle. So Sam Bingham being warned once again on the radio. So trying to get Bingham to start. He's used to starting these big motor modifieds down in turn number 3. So trying to get him to start down in turn number 4 with the 7 of Pringle, the 55 of Kordiak, the 118 of Locker, the 75 of Passwater Sr., and the 88 of Wood. Now getting ready to go green. Much better. The 28 and 7. Sam Bingham out to the race lead. Here comes Kordiak to the inside of Pringle for second. Kordiak going to have that second spot. Here comes Colt Locker for third as he gets to the inside of Pringle. Sam Bingham, your race leader. Sam Bingham, 2 laps to go. Robbie Kordiak in second. Good battle between Locker and Pringle for the 3rd spot. Dennis Wood, Bob Passwater Sr. White flag for Sam Bingham. And checkered flag for Sam Bingham. The 55 of Kordiak, the 7 of Pringle, the 118 of Locker, and the 75 of Passwater Sr. So pulling to the line, heat race number 1 winner for the Snap-on Tools by Doug Pohl Street Stocks. First time in a street stock here, at least in a while. From New Franklin, Ohio, in the Nephews Painting, Ambrose Fabrication, Wood RPM Motorsports, Hammer Construction, sponsored number 28. Put your hands together for Slammin' Sam Bingham. Go. Bryant Smith in the 1, former late model champion. The 54 is Chase Berkey. The 44 is Brandon Donnelly. The 64 of Ian Porco, and the 22 of Kylie Wood. 8-lap heat race number 2 for the street stocks. Bryant Smith and Chase Berkey. Green flag in the air. Bryant Smith going to lead lap number 1. Berkey still hanging there in that outside lane. Donnelly in 3rd. Then Kylie Wood, Ian Porco in the 64. Chase Berkey into the wall off of turn number 4. He's going to keep going. He's in the 4th spot. Brandon Donnelly, the rookie, all over the 1 of Bryant Smith. Contact between Bryant Smith and Brandon Donnelly. In turn 1, the old bump and run from Donnelly, and he goes to the race lead. Brandon Donnelly, your race leader. Ian Porco gets into the wall off of turn number 4. He'll go pit side. Into turn number 3. Final time, Bryant Smith got in deep. Brandon Donnelly going to come off of 4 and win. Bryant Smith will finish 2nd. Kylie Wood in 3rd. And the 54 of Chase Berkey in 4th. From Barberton, Ohio, in the Nephews Painting, Lee's Famous Recipe, Automotive, Electric, and Quality Lawn Care. Sponsored number 44. Put your hands together for Brandon Donnelly. So 8-lap final heat race for the Snap-on Tools by Doug Pohl Street Stock. Zach Kogar and Jason Gruhl will come to green. Terry Coletti, flag in hand. Green's in the air. Kogar a little sideways through 1 and 2. Now we're going to be 3 wide. Here comes Bertram and Grove. A little bit of contact with Kogar between him and Bertram. Jason Gruhl going to lead lap number 1. Kyle Grove to second. Grove going to jump to that outside lane. Kyle Grove to the front. Kyle Grove, your race leader. Jason Gruhl, second. Halfway home. Speeding ticket for the 3 of Kyle Grove. Kyle Grove, 2 laps under his qualifying time. He'll get the speeding ticket. He'll be sent. Pit side, Jason Gruhl, your race leader. Kyler Bertram, Josh Feaster, your top 3. White flag for Jason Gruhl. Kyler Bertram, Josh Feaster. Bertram looking to make that crossover move, unable to get it done. Field in turn 3. Final time. Jason Gruhl going to pick up his first street stock heat race win. Bertram finishes second. Feaster in third. Kogar in fourth. And Passwater's fifth. Pulling to the line from Dover, Ohio in the Sunless Rays Tanning Salon, sponsored number 99, his first career heat race win in a street stock, former modified competitor Jason Gruhl. Is Chad Squires. The 2T is your point champion in 2020, Barney Gerber. The 4 is your fastest qualifier, Tim Scott. And the 11 is Bill Scott. Getting ready to go green, Rick Brink and Blake Ripley. Getting ready to go green. Green flag in the air. Ripley going to have the good jump. Gerber going to follow. Squires, Scott, and Scott all through. Rick Brink to the back of the pack by the time we got to turn 1. Ripley, your race leader. Gerber right on his trunk lid. Barney Gerber to the inside of Blake Ripley, and Tim Scott going to follow. Blake Ripley back to third. Gerber, your race leader. Tim Scott second. Tim Scott all over the rear deck lid of Barney Gerber. Halfway home, 4 and 4 to go. Ripley runs third. Squires in fourth. Bill Scott fifth. Rick Brink sixth. flag for Gerber and Scott. Tim Scott thought about a look to the outside of Barney Gerber. Couldn't make it stick off of turn number 4. Your champion in the mini trucks, Barney Gerber. Tim Scott will finish second. Blake Ripley third. Chad Squires fourth. And Bill Scott in fifth. Rick Brink sixth. So pulling to the line, heat race winner from Sugar Creek, Ohio in the RV Parts Express, Swiss Auto Mart, Pied Piper Muffler and Tire, Boulevard Cleaner and Tuxedo Shop, B.D. Gerber Trucking, sponsored number 2T. Put your hands together for Barney Gerber. Trophy stock feature. Tabitha Stuber, Blake Miley, Matt Miley, Caden Scott. 12-lap feature, green flag is in the air. Tabitha Stuber, Blake Miley. Miley got to win this one. Stuber has to finish third or better. Tabitha Stuber, your race leader. Blake Miley second, Matt Miley third, Caden Scott fourth. I believe that is the first ever caution in a feature for the trophy stocks. Coming into the infield section, so he is charged with the caution. 2 laps in. Blake Miley gets his spot back. Matt Miley gets his back. And we're green. Stuber, your race leader. Blake Miley up the racetrack. Just a little bit. Tabitha Stuber, your race leader. Matt Miley going to move, or keep the third spot rather. Caden Scott back to fourth. Six laps complete, 7 this time for Tabitha Stuber. The 65 of Blake Miley, the 75 of Matt Miley, the 62 of Caden Scott. Dan Bucky and Mike Stuber want to put 3 or 4 drivers in cars for this division next year. If you are 13 to 17 years old, we want to make sure that you get a hold of Mike Stuber or Dan Bucky. No expense to the parents. So if you're 13 to 17, you want to race in this division and learn how to drive a race car. That's what this division is for. Make sure you get a hold of Mike Stuber or Dan Bucky. They can put you in one of these things. And we've got a 17-year-old senior right now out in front. She's a senior in high school, and she is looking to take home the championship in her first year. This division is all about beginners. You have to have less than 3 years of experience to drive in this division. And with Caden Scott out of the race, that's going to give Tabitha Stuber the championship, and she might take home the big trophy in the feature, as we've got one to go. So again, if you're 13 to 17 and you want to race a race car, make sure you get a hold of Mike Stuber or Dan Bucky. They can put you in one of these things. Is Miley going to give it a last shot off of turn number 4? Your winner and your champion, Tabby Stuber. So, when we get to Trivial Pursuit time, and 30 years from now, they ask who's the first trophy stock feature winner and the first trophy stock champion at Midvale Speedway. Blake Miley was the first race winner, and Tabitha Stuber is the first champion. In the Bucky Mowing, Small Straws Acres, Keys Cars, sponsor number 5. Getting ready to climb out of this number 5. Season championship race winner. And she's the champion. Here's your winner, Tabby Stuber. Dad Mike Stuber in victory lane. All right, Tabs. Congratulations, kid.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what. This thing, if you start up front, it's over in this car because this thing is just hooked up, isn't it?
It is.
Who you want to thank on this 5 tonight?
My dad, my mom, my sisters, Braden, Dan and Carol, Keys Cars, Bucky Mowing, Romar, Small Straw Acres, and Old School Farms.
So tell the kids up there that are your age, right, that are 13 to 17, senior in high school, if they want to drive a race car, how fun is this thing to drive?
Oh my gosh, it is so much fun. I loved it. The first night I got in it, I loved it. I didn't want to get out and go home. I wanted to keep running around the track.
So are we going to see Tab move up, or are you going to stay in this division next year?
I'm up.
You're moving on up. So new champion next year. You take your championship. Where are you going? Compacts?
Compacts.
All right. Well, congratulations, kiddo. You're the trophy stock champion in 2020.
Thank you.
Your champion in your season championship winner, Tabitha Stuber. So again, Dan Bucky and Mike Stuber out there, they want to put 3 or 4 13 to 17-year-olds in a couple of these trophy stocks next year. No expense to the parents. So make sure you go and check them out. If you're 9th to claim the championship, if he finishes 9th or better, he wins the title. If Brandon Short wins and Bob Snyder Jr. finishes 10th or worse, then Brandon Short is the champion. Starting on the pole, the 48 is the Mountain State Missile, Jonathan Ritter. The 25 is Chris Grubbs. Big Ohio Invitational winner last week, the 701 of Ryan Tedesco. The 17 is your point leader, Bob Snyder Jr., looking for back-to-back points titles. Your fastest qualifier, currently runner-up in points, Brandon Short in the 18. The 0 is George Riddle. The 57 of AP Wren. The 07 of Josh Kempf. The 66 is John Sangquest Jr., or Senior. I keep calling him Junior. And the 69 is Lee McCreary. The 30 is Jason Garrett. And the 169 is the veteran Kenny Vickers. So a representative of Van Meter's Auto Repair on the flag stand, getting ready to wave the green flag for the McIntosh Oil Company late models on Van Meter Auto Repair season championship night. Ritter and Grubbs. Green flag is in the air. Jonathan Ritter jumps out to the race lead. Grubbs back to the 3rd spot. And we've got a spin. Caution in turn number 2. So the 30 of Jason Garrett spins in turn number 2. Jason Garrett, his first ever late model feature. The 66 of Sangquest. Green flag back in the air. Jonathan Ritter out to the race lead. Ryan Tedesco 2nd. Brandon Short 3rd. Bob Snyder Jr. trying to get to the inside of Chris Grubbs. Grubbs going to be in the 4th spot. Snyder 5th. Jonathan Ritter, Ryan Tedesco, and the 18 of Brandon Short. So Kenny Vickers going to be sent pitside, his first race in over 30 years. As he gets some laps here tonight at Midvale Speedway, going to send him pitside. Jonathan Ritter showing a pretty wheel up front. The Mountain State Missile looking for that first ever win for the Molnar family racing team. Ritter hasn't won a feature in quite some time. The Molnar family has never won a feature here at Midvale Speedway. As Tedesco starting to close in. Brandon Short in 3rd. Then the 25 of Grubbs, the 17 of Snyder, the 0 of Riddle. Bob Snyder Jr. going to get to the inside of Chris Grubbs, and Grubbs going to close the door at caution on the speedway. Here in the late model division at Midvale Speedway most of the season, especially that 18 is Short. So he got 6 or 7 feature wins here at Midvale Speedway. We'll see if he can pick up the season championship tonight. Snyder looking for the title, Tedesco looking for the win, Ritter looking for his first. Green flag in the air. Jonathan Ritter and Tedesco side by side for the race lead. Beautiful restart by Ritter and Tedesco going to rocket around the outside. Ryan Tedesco, your race leader. Here comes the 18 of Brandon Short. Short to the inside of Ritter for the second spot. Jonathan Ritter still there. He'll drop to the bottom in that little crate engine. Running third and fourth are the two crate motors. Ritter and Snyder both with crate engines. Tedesco and Short out front. 11 laps complete. Here comes Brandon Short to the inside of Ryan Tedesco. Brandon Short, new race leader. Tedesco back to second. Ritter still in third. Snyder fourth. Riddle fifth. Brandon Short, your leader. Just past the halfway mark, Brandon Short doing what he needs to do to try and capture a championship. But Bob Snyder Jr., all he's got to do is finish ninth or better, and he's running fourth. Lee McCreary pulls pit side in the 69. That's going to help out Snyder even more. With only 9 cars left on the racetrack, Bob Snyder Jr. can finish no worse than 9th now. So he will be back-to-back champion in the number 17 machine. Bob Snyder Jr., now a 3-time late model champion at Midvale Speedway. Congratulations to the Snyder Racing team. Everybody in that number 17 is the 18 of Brandon Short, driving away now, a full straightaway lead over Ryan Tedesco. Tedesco about a half a straightaway over that battle between Ritter and the 17 as we got a caution in turn number 1. Brandon Short just gets around that one. The 66 of Sandquest and the 57 of AP Wren with 27 laps complete, 26 laps complete. 4th spot, the 0 of George Riddle, the 66 of John Sanquest Sr., the 25 of Chris Grubbs, the 07 of Josh Kemp, a lap off the field as we get ready to go green. 4 laps to go. Short in Tedesco. Ryan Tedesco battling in that high lane. Brandon Short on the bottom. Jonathan Ritter underneath Bob Snyder Jr. as they battle for that 3rd spot. Brandon Short going to take over the race lead. Tedesco 2nd. White flag in the air for Brandon Short. Tedesco, Ritter, and Snyder. So Brandon Short, another victory at Midvale Speedway in 2020, and a back-to-back season championship for Bob Snyder Jr. Ten weeks at Midvale Speedway. He'll get ready to climb out. We'll talk to the champion here in just a minute. Here's your winner, Brandon Short. All right, buddy. Last week I called you 7-time. Now I can call you 8-time. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. It was a fun race. So, we've been struggling all day, and to come home with a win kind of makes it a little bit better. So,
I'll tell you what, Ryan gave you a good run on that last restart. He was really digging in that outside lane, but this thing just handles so good on the white line.
it was handling a lot better on the inside than the outside, and that's for sure. That's why I made the move that I did. But yeah, kudos to him. I mean, he was right there, and I tried to give him some room. So hopefully I gave him enough.
And congratulations. I know you really weren't running for a points title here at Midvale Speedway, but still, second place in the championship. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I want to thank Hutter Racing Engines, All-Star Performance, Big Dell Race Products, a lot of people on this car, Direct Detail. Shout out to Bob for winning the points. It was a fun race.
Good luck. The Glass City here coming up. We'll all be watching down here at Midvale Speedway. I promise you, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Your winner, Brandon Short. Hey. And there's not a lot of many people that can do that. And only to do it in 10 weeks, not a lot of time to get that done. Man, that is an awesome accomplishment, my friend.
I'll tell you this much. I went to Steve Curry, FOF, and it's the best car I've ever had. And he's on the phone with me every day if I want to talk to him. Every Saturday, he's on Race Monitor with me. And I'm telling you, he's a heck of a crewman over the radio.
Hey, whatever works, my friend. Talk about all of your sponsors. You've got that huge sponsor list. Talk about how important it is for each and every name on that car.
Well, I'm a self-contractor, and business gets slow in the winter. But I'm telling you, every one of my sponsors are phenomenal. Not just one, but all of them. I mean, they all pitch in. They're all there for me. There's Gary Yoder with Yoder Plumbing right there. You know, and but Landstar, Jeff Seacrest, by far the best sponsor I've ever had. 10 grand every year. We got Over the Rail Diner with Cliff here. I got Weathermakers. I got Alexis Builder. I got everybody. Smith's Auto Sales. I couldn't do it without them. Plus my wife, she puts up with me in the garage. You know, and Van Meter, Josh Van Meter, he sponsors Tedesco and myself with all the oil. And the oil keeps the motors running. So.
Bob, family in Victory Lane, that's got to be awesome too, right?
It is. He's been here for three championships, and she's been here in every one too. So, thank you. Thank you, everybody in the crowd. Everybody.
Very popular third championship. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your champion, back-to-back years, now a 3-time late model champion at Midvale Speedway, Bob Snyder Jr. So in that tuning Victory Lane, your champion in 2020, now a 3-time late model champion, Bob Snyder Jr. Yeah, I know. I mean, then the 49. The 49 is Bob Page, the 331 Mike Stone, the 38 of Kevin McClintock, the 02 of Rick Sibla, the 27 of Randy Gray, the 338 of Brandon France, the 15 of Kyle Finlayson, the 87 of Zach Leisure, the 4 of Jerry DeVore, the X09 of Wes Ennis, the 12 of Matt Gribble Jr., the 75 of Bobby DeVore the 2nd, the 99 of Derek Gruhl. So Lee McCreary in the 12 for the feature. Lee McCreary in the 12. Tough break for the Rooster, Brandon Bailey, unable to make the call for the feature. The crew worked hard over there to try and get that machine ready. I know they were trying to put a transmission and drive shaft in that machine, just not enough time. As Brandon Bailey, 4 points behind Philip Cox for the championship, unable to make the call for the feature. Tough break for the 55 Rooster team. So getting ready to go green, the battle for the championship between Philip Cox, Mike Stone, Kevin McClintock. They're all in the top 6. Green flag in the air, McGrath and McCreary. Lee McCreary up the racetrack. Bob Page, Lee McCreary, Kevin McClintock, and the 27 of Randy Gray. Then the 09 of Philip Cox, the 66 of Lewis McGrath, the 331 of Mike Stone. Big pile up in turn number 3, and it involves 2 of our point competitors. Mike Stone and Philip Cox together in turn 3. The 02 of Rick Sibla involved, the 66 of McGrath. Oh my, the championship. Will tag the tail end of the field. So very interesting now is Kevin McClintock sitting in that 3rd spot has his opportunity now to take home yet another championship depending on what Mike Stone does in the 331. So 3 laps complete. The championship going to come down to Kevin McClintock and Mike Stone. The 49 of Bob Page, the 12 of Lee McCreary on the front row. Kevin McClintock in the 27 of Randy Gray. Bob Page going to roll around the bottom. Here comes McClintock to the inside of McCreary for 2nd. Lee McCreary up the racetrack just a little bit. McClintock going to take over 2nd. Bob Page, your race leader. Kevin McClintock into 2nd. Here comes Randy Gray to the inside of McCreary for 3rd. Lewis McGrath and the 02 of Rick Sibla battling for the 4th spot, or 5th spot rather. Randy Gray to the inside of Lee McCreary. Mike Stone has got around Derek Gruhl, working on the back half of the field now. So Mike Stone needs to get around the X09 of Wes Ennis. The X09 of Wes Ennis is where Mike Stone needs to be. If he can get by Wes Ennis and the other two machines in front of him, then he can pick up that championship still with Kevin McClintock running in second. Stone is going to try to get to the inside of Kyle Finlayson for the 11th position. Bob Page, still your race leader. Kevin McClintock, second. Lee McCreary in third. So after tallying, doing some figuring up here where Kevin McClintock sits right now, Mike Stone actually has to finish 8th. If he finishes 9th, he will lose by 1 point. So Mike Stone has to get around the X09 and the 4. Stone to the outside of Wes Ennis. Mike Stone going to move into that 9th spot. Still has some work to do. Still has to get around the 4 of Jerry DeVore if Kevin McClintock stays where he is. Five laps to go for Bob Page. Kevin McClintock second. Lee McCreary third. Mike Stone needs one more spot. He has to get around one more machine. If he can do it, he's the champion. If he can't, Kevin McClintock wins another one. Dramatics here with 3 laps to go. Oh my goodness. The championship going to come down to the final 2 laps between Kevin McClintock and Mike Stone. Complete. Green, white, checkered finish to decide the season championship race and the point title in the Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds. What drama over the final 2 laps. Can Kevin McClintock win yet another championship from 15 points back? Or will Mike Stone become a first-time champion in the modifieds? Getting ready to go green. The 49 and 38 greens in the air. Bob Page on the bottom, gonna have the race lead. Mike Stone in that outside lane, still in the 8th spot, white flag in the air. Off turn number 4, checkered flag to Bob Page. Kevin McClintock second. Mike Stone will finish 8th. So we're going to review the math just to make sure. We're going to review the math just to make sure. Kevin McClintock finishes 2nd. Mike Stone finishes 8th. So, Matthew and Gary Smith in the tower working away on the numbers. It's going to be 1 point either way. Make sure the math is right, and we will determine the champion. Bob Page going to pull into season championship victory lane.
So after calculating it, the 2020 modified point champion is the 331 of Michael Stone by 1 point over Kevin McClintock.
So Mike Stone will be your champion. We'll talk to him in just a minute. In the Heron Heating and Cooling, sponsored number 49 for the 2nd time this season. Getting ready to climb out, this time in a season championship winning fashion on Van Meter Auto Repair Night at Midvale Speedway in the Van Meter Auto Repair Modified Division. Here's your feature winner, Bob Page. Well, I can tell you what, your 2nd feature win, you had to work for that one, my friend. Everyone in this division is tough to win.
Yeah, it's hard to win a race in this division, that's for sure.
Tell you what, you didn't know all the dramatics that were happening, but if Kevin McClintock got around you and won the race, he won the championship. You won the feature. Mike Stone finished 8th. He won the championship by 1 point.
Yeah, I'm glad Mike won it. Kevin's a hard competitor, too. I mean, he runs clean, runs good.
But for him to get his first, pretty cool.
Yeah, that it was. I was there for a while, had mechanical issue, dropped me out of the race.
Yeah, I think you moved up. I think you end up finishing 5th in points. I think by last check, you might even have moved up to 4th. But still another great season by you in a shortened season. If we would have had a full season, who knows where this 49 would be.
Yeah, we'd been right there with them by the end of the year.
Who you want to thank on this machine tonight, brother?
Heron's Heating and Cooling, Johnny Tannerelli, and everybody else that helps on the car.
Congratulations, man. From dirt to neck tuning victory lane 2 times. Your winner, Bob Page. For the first time in his career as a modified champion at Midvale Speedway. In the bank of Magnolia, Leyland Motors, Criley Fabricating, Black Diamond Earthworks, Esber Beverage, sponsored number 331. Here's your champion, Mike Stone. Come on over here, buddy. You had to work for that one.
Yeah, I sure did. That was a rough one, for sure.
I'll tell you what, though, we kept watching your progress, right? We said, you got to get to 8th or 9th, depending on where Kevin was running. You know, you got around the 75. Then you got around, I think it was the 4, the X09. And we're like, man, you're right in that spot. You needed one more. And then the caution come out, and that was probably the difference, right?
Yeah, I really needed it. I was happy to see that. I had my hands full with this thing after that, so that worked out pretty good.
So what does it mean to be a modified champion, man?
I don't know yet.
You want me to pinch you?
No, it was a rough year, and just glad that we could all finish it out with the way that everything happened this year. So,
who you want to thank on this thing tonight?
Well, I got to thank my Uncle Rich most and foremost, because without him I wouldn't even be here. Mike, my brother, then all the sponsors, Esbers, Bank of Magnolia, Leyland, Macintosh, Kumar Trucking, and Black Diamond Earthworks.
Congratulations, buddy. You got a few more of these to win before you catch Uncle Rich, though.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Congratulations, bud. Your 2020 Van Meter Auto Repair Modified Champion, Mike Stone. Always cool to see a first-time champion in victory lane. So Toby Cook will start up front with Stephen Feaster, Jamie Leslie, Mike McDonald in the 16, and Kenny Feaster Jr., the 007 of Don Rufner III, the 57 of Blaze Bacon, the 44 of Mike Stuber, the 19 of Eugene Kopp Jr., the 69 of Dan Bucky, the 45 of Timmy Kaup, the 47 of Don Rufner Jr., the 27 of Billy Hilliker, the 7 of Will Custer, the 67 of Dylan Napier, the 9 of Gavin Roop, and the 53 of Curtis Finlayson. So getting ready to come around to take the green flag from Chief Starter Craig Mishler will be the 41 of Toby Cook and the champion Stephen Feaster. Off of turn number 4, green flag in the air. Toby Cook will lead. Stephen Feaster will be the champion in 2020. Congratulations to the Feaster Racing team. Toby Cook on the bottom going to have the race lead. Caution in turn number 4, and it is Stephen Feaster. The 3rd, and the fastest qualifier, the 13 of Kenny Feaster Jr. Last week's Big Ohio Invitational feature winner, Blaze Bacon. The 19 of Eugene Kopp, green flag in the air. Lap number 1 is going to be Toby Cook. Mike McDonald beating the door off of that 178 of Feaster. Then Rufner on the bottom. And the 64 of Leslie. Caution on the speedway for the 57 of Blaze Bacon. Green flag back in the air for Toby Cook and Mike McDonald. Don Rufner III goes over the rumble strips, takes over the second spot from Mike McDonald, shuffling him back. Leslie up to the third spot. Kenny Feaster Jr. up to fourth, and McDonald back to fifth. Then the 178 of Stephen Feaster, the 19 of Eugene Kopp. Toby Cook, 5 laps complete, 10 to go. Don Rufner III to the door, the 41 of Toby Cook, moves him up the hill, and Don Rufner III will take the lead. Jamie Leslie in second, and he's on the outside of Rufner now. Battle for the race lead, Jamie Leslie on the outside, DR3 on the bottom. Kenny Feaster Jr. in third. Halfway home, Rufner your leader. Dan Bucky slow off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Here comes Kenny Feaster Jr., your fastest qualifier to the outside of Jamie Leslie. Three laps to go this time for Rufner. And we've got a pair together in turn 2. That was the 45 of Timmy Kalf and the 27 of Billy Hilliker, and we stay under the green flag. Great battle up front, coming to the white flag. Kenny Feaster Jr. to the outside of Jamie Leslie. Don Rufner III leads, white flag in the air, 3-car battle for the season championship trophy. Eugene Kopp moves up to the 4th spot. Good run out of the driver of the 19. Final time into turn number 3. DR3 gonna come off of turn number 4 and win the season championship race over Jamie Leslie and Kenny Feaster Jr. The 178 of Stephen Feaster is your champion. First win as a dad, DR3. All right, 3. First of all, I want to know, how's it feel to be a dad?
It feels awesome.
How's baby's doing? Good? Everything's good?
Yeah, she's great. She's probably the best baby we could have had.
Well, she's yours, so of course she's going to be the best, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who you want to thank tonight, man? You had to work for that one, dude.
Yeah, I want to thank my wife, my mom, dad, anybody that helps me, my sponsors. But yeah, that was a fun one. I had to go. Started at 41 for stuffing in there, but we can't keep coming down. You gotta give me a lane.
Well, I'm with you. I get it. I mean, you had several times you were looking to the inside, looking to the inside. He did open up the bottom off of turn 2, and we called it. You were to the door before there was ever any contact.
I usually give him twice, then the third time, if I have the lane, I'm going. It's over.
So that's the Dale Earnhardt rule. Once, I'm here. Twice, better move. Third time, I'm gone.
Yep, that's right. And I knew Jamie was coming, and it was either go or Jamie was going to win it, and I wouldn't have got around him. So,
Congratulations, bud.
thank you.
Your winner, DR3. One by himself. The 2020 Compact Champion. Here's your champion, Steven Feaster. All right, man. You're champion. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's all right.
What do you mean it's all right?
It's the first time it happened, so I guess it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, because if it wasn't cool, you wouldn't have been trying so hard to get this one. Come on now.
Yeah, I was trying. I don't know, it didn't seem to run right there at the beginning, then it come alive, but I got a heat race and a champion, I guess, so I'll take it.
Absolutely. Who you want to thank on this 178 tonight, man? And all season, really.
Yeah, well, my dad and my brother for helping me wrench on the car, and Coons Landscaping and Towpath Tavern.
Congratulations, man. Champion in 2020. Good deal.
Thanks.
Your champion, Steven Feaster. So starting on the pole, the 7 is Clayton Paisley. The 39 is Dan Sharpless. The 22 is Katie Wood. The 79, Phil Bunton Jr. The 38, the B feature bandit, Chad Littlehands Wise. Ryan Alm in the 6R. Jeremy Salinger in the 52. Chris Caldwell in the 96. The 77 is George Paul. The 7S of Savannah Alm. Cody Toland in the 01. Will Scott in the 72, as now we got Katie Wood in the grass, Ryan Alm in the grass. And caution on the speedway, still have the 85 of Jonathan Weber, the 4 of Andrea Brokaw, the 79 of Eric Brokaw on the speedway. So complete restart, we'll try it again. Field on the back straightaway. Clayton Paisley, Dan Sharpless. Getting ready to go back to green. Green flag in the air from Chief Starter Terry Coletti. Oh, Sharpless up the racetrack. The 7 of Paisley going to have the race lead. Here comes the 22 of Katie Wood. Katie Wood on the bottom, Sharpless on the top. Sharpless going to hang on to that second spot as he comes down and closes the door on the 22 of Wood. Here comes the 79 of Phil Bunton Jr. on the outside. Little hands there in the 5th spot. Then the 6R of Ryan Alm, the 7S of Savannah Alm, and the 01 of Cody Toland. 79 of Bunton and 7 of Paisley, a little contact in turn number 3. Dan Sharpless, your race leader. Katie Wood in the second spot. Bunton up to third. Alm fourth. Little Hands fifth. And Paisley dropping in the outside lane. Contact between the 38 and 6 off of turn number 4. Little Hands up the racetrack, almost spinning it out. Little Hands in the Alm sandwich right now. Ryan Alm and Savannah Alm with the 38 of Little Hands in the middle. Katie Wood trying to work on the 39 of Sharpless for the race lead, as the 4 of Brokaw going to spin. She's going to get to the infield and will stay under the green flag. Katie Wood got into that dirt down there and almost spun around. Sharpless got through okay. Here comes Phil Bunton and the 6R of Ryan Alm as they get through. Tough break for Katie Wood. Now here comes Little Hands. Caution on the speedway, turn number 4. Getting ready to go green. Sharpless and Wood. Green flag in the air. Katie Wood on that outside lane. Sharpless going to slide up the racetrack. Katie Wood still on the high side. She had the bottom if she wanted it. Sharpless not going to slide up this time, but Wood gets way up the racetrack. Here comes the 79 of Bunton and the 6 of Alm. Dan Sharpless doing a nice job up front. Phil Bunton, Katie Wood, your top 3. Then the 6R of Alm. Oh, Savannah Alm almost got into the fence. Dan Sharpless. 2 laps to go. Phil Bunton Jr. in second. Katie Wood third. Ryan Alm fourth. Will Scott fifth. Final lap for Dan Sharpless, looking for his first career feature victory in that number 39. Katie Wood trying to get back up to second. Bunton has it, but off of turn number 4. Checkered flag, first time winner, Dan Sharpless. Bunton second, Wood third, Alm fourth, and Will Scott in fifth. So Dan Sharpless, first career feature victory at Midvale Speedway. He'll pull into NAC Tuning Victory Lane. We got a little trivia question for you. We've been trying to do some research. I believe, most people believe, that Tabitha Stuber is the first ever female champion at Midvale Speedway, but we're still trying to figure that out. But we believe she's the first ever champion. So if anybody has anything to kind of rebuttal that, let me know. Did you say power? In the Exotic Graphics and Sign Works, sponsored number 339, or yeah, 339. 39. I gave you an extra number. Here's your winner, Dan Sharpless. Good job, bud. Come over here. You gotta come over here. You gotta come over here so the camera can see you. All right, so listen. When we talked about all the issues you had when we were down here testing and tuning before the season got started, man, you rode that roller coaster all year long. What's it feel like to finally get into Victory Lane?
Finally got one with white and black.
Yes, finally, and not just the black. So, who you want to thank on this 39, man?
My family, my brother, my sister, my girlfriend, everybody comes out and helps me weekly.
Tell you what, you put a lot of work into this thing. You're down here on Friday nights. You were down here spending the time and the money to test and tune all season long, and it's getting better. You're getting better as a driver. The car's getting better. Good job, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Your winner in the B feature, Dan Sharpless. Also, make sure you check out BP Photography on Facebook. Brittany Peebles doing a great job, BP Photography. Her photography stand, I'm sure, will be back up and running here coming up for the Fall Classic, but you can check her out on Street Stocks for their season championship race. Your champion in 2020, Dennis Wood in the 88, your fastest qualifier tonight as well. So starting on the pole, the 64 is Ian Porco. Ian Porco, the grandson of Tom Garbrandt, the longtime racer here at Midvale Speedway. So Ian Porco will start on the pole with the 22 of Kylie Wood, the daughter of your champion Dennis Wood. So racing family on the front row. Sam Bingham, your heat race winner and former compact competitor and current big motor modified competitor, starts in the third spot along with Gabe Pringle, a two-time street stock champion in the number 7. Had all kinds of issues this season, the number 7 has. The 55 is Robbie Kordiak. He won on opening night last season. The 118 of Colt Locker. The 75 of Bob Passwater Sr., then the 88 of Wood. The 67 of Hunke John Tannerelli and the Grocery Getter 67. The 44 is Brandon Donnelly. The 54 is Chase Berkey, the number 1 of Bryant Smith. We hope he doesn't have a repeat of what he did the last time he started a feature here at Midvale Speedway. The 29 of Josh Feaster. The 3 of Kyle Grove. The 55 of Kyler Bertram, the 99 of Jason Gruhl, the 58 of Zach Koger, and the 74 of Bob Passwaters Jr. Kyle Gruhl not able to go green in the So here we go, Ian Porco and Kylie Wood, green flag in the air. 20-lap feature for the street stocks. Oh, Porco up the racetrack, gets into Kylie Wood, gets into Gabe Pringle. And caution on the speedway. We'll have a complete restart. Complete restart. Ian Porco up the racetrack just a little bit. Got into Kylie Wood. Good job by Gabe Pringle and Dennis Wood, Kyle Grove to all get woed up. The 28 of Sam Bingham on the outside. Tough break for Kylie Wood. No fault of her own. As green flag in the air. Bingham going to have the lane in the outside. He's going to have the race lead. Porco going to slide up the racetrack. There is Kordiak, Robbie Kordiak there in the 55. Sam Bingham, your race leader. Kordiak second. Porco in third. Here comes Passwater Sr. in the 75. Dennis Wood to the outside of Robbie Kordiak for the second spot. Bob Passwater Sr. back to fourth. Ian Porco fifth. Colt Locker sixth. Kyle Grove pulls pit side. Gabe Pringle pulled to the infield a few laps earlier. As the 28 of Sam Bingham starting to check out in that number 28 machine. Problems for the 67 of John Tannerelli is caution for the 67 of John Tannerelli. Problems for the 67 of John Tannerelli as his machine started sputtering off of turn number 4 and finished coming to a stop on the back straightaway. Green flag back in the air. Bingham and Wood. Dennis Wood looking for another feature victory in that 88. Sam Bingham looking for his first feature victory in a street stock here at Midvale Speedway. Bingham doing a nice job up front for Frank Boyce in that number 28. Bob Passwater Sr. to the outside of Robbie Kordiak for the third spot. Passwater's on the move. Bingham doing a whale of a job up front. 5 laps to go. Holding off the fastest car at Midvale Speedway in this division, Dennis Wood. Bob Passwater Sr. doing a whale of a job in the 3rd spot. Caution on the speedway back straightaway. Kylie Wood involved. Brandon Donnelly involved. The 74 Passwaters Jr. also into that. So Sam Bingham, Dennis Wood. 4 laps to go. Dennis Wood way up the racetrack. Problems for Dennis Wood. So not sure what was going on with Dennis Wood. He restarted on the outside of the front row, but I think he had a flat tire at the start. He went up the racetrack, and the 64 of Ian Porco got into him. I believe that Dennis Wood had a flat tire. 5 Colt Locker in the 118. Ian Porco in the 64. Kyler Bertram in the 55. Is Dennis Wood going to make the call? Doesn't look like he's going to. Green, oh, is he out? Oh, there he is. Green flag back in the air. The announcer missed him. Sorry. Dennis Wood back on the speedway. Good job by the Wood RPM race team. Passwater's going to slip back in that outside lane. Kordiak to the inside. Sam Bingham 3 laps away from victory. White flag for Sam Bingham. Off turn number 4, Sam Bingham will win at Midvale Speedway. Robbie Kordiak second, then Colt Locker, Kyler Bertram, and Jason Gruhl with a 5th place finish. So for the first time this year, pulling into victory lane in the Nephews painting. Diamond Tires, Copley Car Care, True Line Graphics, sponsored number 28. So for the first time in his career at Midvale Speedway, Sam Bingham in victory lane. Frank Boyce in victory lane. Congratulations, dude. I'll tell you what, the Modified's been getting better and better each and every week. I swear you won in the compacts here, and you say you didn't.
I only won a couple heat races. That's it.
That's it. No feature.
No features.
Wow, incredible. Boychie gave you a hell of a car, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Really had it set up. But kind of got used to it in hot laps. Really got used to it in qualifying.
Well, maybe he needs to let you drive it next week, too.
Yeah.
Well, if there was a next week, I should say. But at least in the Fall Classic, who you want to thank on this 28, man?
I'd really like to thank Frankie for letting me drive and all his sponsors. I don't know who he has sponsored.
Congratulations, man. Welcome to Knack Tuning Victory Lane for the first time.
Thank you.
Your winner, Slammin' Sam Bingham. Buddy.
Thank you.
Who you want to thank tonight? I know you're sweating your butt off and just flat tire on that restart.
Yeah.
And your kids just hit you with
Junk cars and yeah. It's hard to be excited.
I know, but overall you're at least getting sprayed confetti over here. Now we got a cleanup to do.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's all right. Who you want to thank on this 88, man? This car has just been really good all season. Look, bottom line is I was with you the first day you brought this car down here, right? When we were testing tune before we opened, this car was really good. You guys have worked your butts off week in and week out, and that's why it continues to be fast.
Yeah, I can't thank my crew enough. I mean, they work. I mean, everybody works butt off on it. Got to thank my sponsors, Canton Auto Salvage. I mean, he's helped me out a lot this year. Lee's Chicken, Hammer Construction, Tony Newman Roofing, UFO Fabrication. If it wasn't for Tony, I mean, he's worked all winter long on this thing with us. And Quality Lawn Care.
And two-time champion. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I've got one in Barberton too, so 3.
Okay, well, 3, but it only counts here.
Yeah, so.
Well, congratulations, buddy. I know you guys got some work to do on Kylie's car. Hopefully you'll have it back for the Fall Classic, and we'll see you here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's supposed to go to Barberton next week for their points championship, so. I want to thank all the fans for sticking around. I mean, it's been a shit-ass year for the for this COVID shit, so.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Congratulations. Two-time champion, your street stock champion, D. Wood, Dennis Wood. Lap feature coming up for the mini truck. Starting on the pole, the 57 is Rick Brink. The 00 is Blake Ripley. The 26, Chad Squires. The 4 is Tim Scott. Barney Gerber, your champion in the The 11 is Bill Scott, green flag in the air. Ripley going to have the lead into turn number 1. Blake Ripley with the race lead in the 00, trying to hang on to that bottom lane. Here comes Tim Scott. Tim Scott is there. Barney Gerber going to follow through. Ripley going to drop back to the 2nd spot. Tim Scott, your race leader. Gerber will take over 2nd. Ripley back to 3rd. Chad Squires 4th. Josh Peebles in 5th. Then Rick Brink and the 11 of Bill Scott. Barney Gerber looking to the outside of Tim Scott for the race lead in turn 3. Gerber in the high lane. Chad Squires moving up on Blake Ripley for that third spot. About a half a straightaway behind race leader Tim Scott and Barney Gerber. Here comes Tim Scott, starting to work his way through lap traffic with Barney Gerber as they get by the 11 of Bill Scott, the 57 of Rick Brink. Just past the halfway mark, the 4 of Tim Scott, the 2 of Barney Gerber, getting around Josh Peebles. Ripley runs in the third spot, Squires fourth. The top 4 on the lead lap, Josh Peebles in the 78 and 5th, now a lap down. Into turn number 3, final time, Tim Scott gonna hang on over Barney Gerber. Scott wins the feature, Gerber the championship. And coming around to finish third, the 00 of Blake Ripley, fourth, the 26 of Chad Squires, and fifth, the 78 of Josh Peebles. Skid plate race coming up next. Skid plate guys to the infield. Get your skis on. So Tim Scott going to pull into victory lane. Into Scott Speed Shop, sponsored number 4. Trucks. Here's your winner, Tim Scott. Get a room. I tell you that all the time. Get a room.
Hey, that's good luck right there.
Well, I'm with you. I get it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm wore out after that.
I'll tell you what. Having to hold off that 2T is not an easy task.
That's for sure. He's a heck of a driver, man. He comes out here and gives it his all, and I didn't think I was going to be able to. I seen him on the outside of me, and I'm going, oh, man, here he comes. But he fell back a little bit, so I guess I'm thankful for that. Right?
Yeah, well, yeah, you're thankful for that because you're the season championship race winner.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it.
What do you want to thank tonight on this 4, man?
Everybody you see behind me. Her, him. That's my dad there. It's my brother, wife, my little girls. Good Lord. Oh, you know what? I'm going to thank myself tonight. Because, believe it or not, I had to make the sandwiches for the pits today. I mean, she had to work last night, so.
Excuses, right?
Yeah, but none of the drivers ever thank themselves.
Well, this is a Midvale Speedway first.
I thank me.
There you go. Next year I want me on this like Ricky Bobby, all right?
Yeah.
Your winner, Tim Scott. Good job, bud. Skid plate machines pulling onto the Speedway 16. They'll put their skis on in the infield. And Pied Piper Muffler and Tire, Swiss Auto Mart, Careless Vinyls, RP Parts Express, and BD Gerber Trucking. Sponsored number 2T, your 2020 points champion, Barney Gerber. Come on over here, Barn. Congratulations, man. Well earned this year.
Thank you, thank you. We had a lot of work to do there a couple of times this year, but we got it fixed and got it down here. And I'd like to thank everybody that helped me. I don't know I'll forget somebody, but...
Well, and you, like you said, you had that accident earlier this season, kind of dinged up the front end on this thing. You guys had a lot of work to do. Great job by you guys to get it back together.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Bob Jones and Han to help me get this thing back together and stuff.
Who else you want to thank as far as sponsor-wise on this thing? You're another guy who has a ton of sponsors on this thing, but that's what it takes to be able to race at Midvale Speedway.
Then I added 2 more last night.
But there you go. That's great.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my sponsors, BD Gerber Trucking, RP Parts Express, E&T Tire and Brake, Pied Piper, Muffler and Tire, Swiss Auto Mart, Bad Stone Band, Boulevard Cleaners, and Graphics.
There you go. Congratulations, buddy. Champion at Midvale Speedway. You earned it, man.
Thank you.
Your champion, Barney Gerber. He also wants to make sure he thanks his engine builder, Kevin Locker. Lap skid plate race. Stephen Feaster, Trevor Cole on the front row. When you are ready, sir. Green is in the air. And there goes the carnage in turn number 1. Bryant Smith out front on the high side. There's a spinner. Bryant Smith going to get through. He knows how to run these skid plate races, I'm telling you. Bryant Smith, your leader, lap number 1. The 22 runs second. Then Trevor Cole right here in the 64 runs third. 22 is Kevin Snyder. He's in the second spot. So Bryant Smith going to come around, complete lap number 3. Bryant Smith crosses the line. He's your race leader. Here comes second place, Kyle Finlayson in the 15. Kyle Finlayson in the 15. And I believe this is third, and this is Brent Schreffler. So Bryant Smith in control. He will come across the line, lap number 4. Kyle Finlayson on his tail, starting to roll in. There's Finlayson in second. And third, Brent Schreffler. Bryant Smith working his way through turn number 2. Finlayson starting to close in up front. Schreffler got in an accident. I believe he has dropped out of third, I think. I don't know. We'll have to talk to Matthew and they'll determine that. I don't know if it's at 71 or if it's Schreffler in third. But here comes Bryant Smith. He's almost got a lap on the third and fourth place car. Bryant Smith halfway home. Lenny Orr can't get going in that 71. He's all over the place off turn number 4. 53 of Curtis Finlayson. Bryant Smith in turn 3 with Kyle Finlayson right behind. The van goes around. The 6 goes around. I still believe Schreffler is in the third spot. He's about a half a lap down. Bryant Smith, your leader. Where did our leader go? Here comes the new leader, Kyle Finlayson, across the line. Kyle Finlayson, your leader. Bryant Smith hanging on to the second spot, and I believe running third is coming to the line. This is the battle, Stephen Feaster and Brent Schreffler. Feaster into the wall. So the 5 was black flag for missing his skis. Tough break for CJ Stout. I know he was driving for his daughter tonight, but putting some pretty nasty grooves in the racetrack. We still got the race lead up here. Here comes Kyle Finlayson, still your race leader. 2 laps to go for Kyle Finlayson. Here comes Bryant Smith in second. Here comes Stephen Feaster in the third spot. Schreffler in fourth. But Finlayson doing a whale of a job in that 15. White flag for Kyle Finlayson. Into turn number 3. Bryant Smith trying to catch him. He's going to give it a last-ditch effort. Finlayson in the middle. Smith spins out. Bryant Smith spins. Kyle Finlayson wins. Kyle Finlayson, your skid plate winner. Bryant Smith still sitting up in turn number 3 and 4. I still believe the 178 of Feaster now going to come around and take over the second spot. So Stephen Feaster going to come around and take home second. Stephen Feaster second. And the tower will have to tell us who finished third. So getting ready to climb out, your winner, Kyle Finlayson. Hey man, Bryant Smith used to be the ringer in these cars. You're the ringer now. I gotta tell you, man, it's hard to drive one of these things and maintain control. You did a hell of a job.
Yeah, I've had this car for probably like 4 years now. I haven't been able to kill it. It runs pretty good.
So then you have to bring it back next year and try and make it 2 in a row.
No, it'll be back.
Is it, does it take as much skill as it looks? Because there's really a fine line, especially, I know Bryant likes to run all the way up on top of the racetrack.
I mean, it's not bad. You just, people drive them too hard and you can't hold on to them.
Right. The whole point is it's not a demo derby, it's a race, and you got to be the first one to win.
Oh, yeah.
Your winner, Kyle Finlayson. Congratulations. Hey, you suck.
Thank you.
I was plugging you all night, and then you blow it. All you had is high gear.
If the car tried to shift, it just shut off. So I had to leave it in high and baby the gas the whole time. But hey,
congratulations. Hey, Kyle.
yeah, no shit. And so people